Sciencemancy. Drugs and the microbiome. All right, we'll do one of each. So, starting with drugs, this is Chinese cities scan sewers for signs of illegal drug use. This is actually a huge thing in public health. There are so many different studies looking at the wastewater and figuring out what drugs people are taking in that city. The great part is the police always are vastly underestimating how much is being done. Cocaine is the easiest one to test for because only one metabolite comes out when you snort or however you take your cocaine. And so I know in some Italian cities they did this study and there were 5 times more cocaine use than the police were expecting. And so this kind of research is going on all the time around the world to try to get a better handle on what drugs are being done in the city. It also points to a problem, which is the drop in fertility rates, not just among humans, but among amphibians and reptiles as well. Because these illegal drugs that we're taking and our pharmaceutical drugs, and probably most especially our pregnancy and hormone changing drugs, are getting into the water supply. And there's almost no way to filter these out that aren't insanely expensive. And so basically we're just dumping these pharmaceuticals into our water. And that might be the reason that within the next couple of decades, most men won't be able to reproduce without technical help. And this kind of research is pointing to why that might be happening. On the microbiome side, this is a great overall review paper called The Arms Race Between Bacteria and Their Phage Foes. So if you don't know about bacteriophages, don't worry, almost no one else did until a century ago. The book on this subject that's wonderful is Sinclair Lewis. He did a book called Aerosmith, and it's about a scientist. It's one of the first books I ever read that had a really cool scientist main character. And it talks about the synchronicity of accidentally finding out that bacteria get attacked by something called phages, which are very little things that attack bacteria, the circle of life. And so much of bacteria's existence is defending against these little attackers all the time. At this level of existence, bacteria are the elephants and the phages are the lions. And lions can take down a bacteria, but it takes a lot of them and they have to be really good. So there's a constant arms race between bacteria and the phages. Here's a look at the phages coming in to infect the bacteria, and you can see there's several different places where there's different types of defense. But there's one that's even more important than the rest, for humans at least. This is the CRISPR-Cas system of defense, which is basically the bacteria having a certain enzyme complex that comes in and changes the DNA that's getting injected into them and altering it so it doesn't work against them anymore. And just a couple of years ago, a couple of humans figured out how to use this CRISPR-Cas system to alter DNA. And now they're using it for all kinds of amazing, easy DNA transformation for things that used to take years can now be done in days or weeks. And it's one of the biggest changes in biology that comes from this fight.